Yep. First off, what an awesome atmosphere. I mean, I think we say that every year, but I certainly think that was an incredible atmosphere. I tell you, the new pathway that we had to go for the dog walk was really neat. It was in a lot more shaded area. We thought there were tons of people there lining it, and I know our players really enjoyed it, and I really just want to thank our fans for being out there that early. It's probably a little warmer than I anticipated, but I thought they were awesome. Great crowd. To see Sony and Nick walk out before it, to see the seniors honored for the season they had. I thought that was really cool and neat. As far as the game, I thought there were parts of it that were sloppy. Some of that for the game is by design. I know y'all will never believe it. Everybody will ask me about the rushing yards and do we have a rushing problem. But if you didn't watch that game closely, you realize that there was not an intent to rush the ball a bunch, in which we think that we have the capabilities of doing that, but that's not the purpose of our spring game. Is to throw the ball, catch the ball, gain confidence in the passing game. We want to run it some. And I thought that the black defense did a really good job of creating turnovers. The two of them were gifts, but we got more turnovers today than we had gotten really all spring. And some of the red guys started to bow their neck. I thought Monty played good and did some good things defensively. But I'm really proud of the way the guys competed all spring. They came out in a great atmosphere today. We had some young guys bust stuff left and right. And I'm almost so glad they did, because now we get to teach from it. And when we go back and we have to do it for real the next time, they'll have a little less butterflies. Because I don't know how many of you have suited up and played in front of a crowd like that, but there are butterflies involved in that. Let's get those butterflies out of the way. And I thought they did a good job of that. I thought Stetson came in and had some productive drives. We think Stetson's a competitive kid. He brings us a little different mobility in there, and he gets out of the pocket and moves around. He made some good throws. So with that, I'll open it up. I just think that people like Georgia football. I mean, why, when you have an opportunity on this nice spring day to come to Athens, I know I'd be dying to come. If I lived anywhere in the state or in a 5-hour radius, get out of the house, get the kids out of the house, come watch a game and see the new guys out there, see who the new faces are. I think some of it's recruiting, but I just think people enjoy football in Georgia, and they want to come watch it. And I'm glad they do, because the impact that it has on recruiting, I can't tell you how many recruits are out there going, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Just can't get over it. But it's the norm here. It's the way it should be. I mean, we've got a great fan base, and they turn out for it, and we try to put a good product out there for them and make it a good, entertaining game. And sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Sloppy at times. You know, we had a couple drops. Thought both quarterbacks, their receivers had some drops, but we're trying to gain confidence. We're trying to get those guys to get through those drops, push through those. You know, it was a big obstacle for Jason Stanley to get some confidence catching the ball. He caught some, then he dropped some. You know, Riley had come, I thought he could have caught. Obviously, Elijah had some. I mean, several guys had a few of those. But that's good for our DBs, because our DBs are getting the ball thrown on them, and it's really competitive out there, and I enjoy watching those guys compete. I really thought that both quarterbacks managed the huddle, because that's what I look for, is what are they calling? Are they calling the right signal? Are they fixing guys that are broke? Are they saying the right thing in the huddle? Are they being positive when something bad happens? You know, Elijah drops the ball. I'm mad at him. I'm frustrated with him. But Jake's, hey, we'll get the next one. You know, I mean, it takes that to get a young player to go where you want him to go, and I thought he and Justin did a good job of that. What I saw most of spring ball, you know, every time I talk to y'all, I talk about the receivers being a little ahead, and I think that showed really from the standpoint of those development guys. I think Tyler Simmons this spring has taken, man, he's a lot of strides, and I think it comes from confidence in special teams. J.J. Holloman has taken strides. It's like those two guys, Matt Landers a little bit, they've really like grown up. And I throw Jason in that. Jason's not youthful like them, but he gained confidence through special teams. So those wideouts gained confidence all spring. That was very typical of what happened in practice a lot of times. They're hungry. They want to play. So they know to get in front of Miko, Terry, and Riley, what do I got to do? I got to go compete and go catch the ball. And I thought those guys did a good job, really good job of being competitive and doing that. And they're probably a little bit ahead of, you know, our DBs are a little bit more drained. So. Yeah, I mean, you never stop with leadership. I mean, we lost a huge void, but it'll never be. Even if we didn't lose a huge void, we'd be trying to replace leadership. I think any team you have, you lose leadership. But these kids have embraced it. You know, we're not where we need to be from a leadership standpoint. If you said, hey, are you there? No, we're not even close. We've got to develop that throughout May, summer, conditioning. We have to push the envelope with how are we going to get guys to confront and demand other guys. And we're not where we need to be. And you know what? They got to learn from some of the examples those other guys set, because those other guys are pretty remarkable now when it comes to leadership. They made our job as coaches easier. I thought one of them, the one with to Bate, we had a coverage on 2 trap. He threw the ball. He had 2 rushers in his face. He threw it a little high, and Bate was there. The other one, he and the receiver not on the same page. The dog route didn't make a great decision, but one of them was a really good play by Bate. I give him credit in the overthrow. The other one wasn't as much, but you know, I do think that our one defense is obviously way ahead of the 2 defense, and we got better players out there. For today was the first time I thought we had a little bit of continuity on the 1 defense with some rhythm. Really hasn't been like that much all spring from a continuity standpoint. But I'll say this: Poole was playing both ways, so not many people noticed, but you know, he's flipping back and forth jerseys because we were down guys, and he did a nice job. He didn't have a lot of mental errors, and for him to make that pick, that was a big confidence booster for him. Yeah, I think anytime you attack a spring, we're targeting special teams. We wanted to improve our special teams and not be complacent because we thought we were really good last year. So we developed some more receivers that could play on teams for us. The next thing, defense, we wanted to make more negative plays. We want to give more negative tackles for a loss. We put some things in that we worked on in the other practices, not today. And then offensively, we want to be more efficient with our RPOs. We want to have a little bit more package of some plays that we want to run that we didn't show today. So we felt like we accomplished that. Not necessarily today, but throughout spring we were able to do that. The biggest thing that we need to do this spring is find out who we are and where our leaders. And I'm not sure we know exactly who those leaders are yet. We know they're supposed to be, but are they willing to assume the role? Because it's going to be forced on them. He's grown. He's gotten better. He's more comfortable with the offense. But I'll be honest, I never felt like he was like behind with the offense from day one. I mean, he's done such a good job coming in and learning. It's not like it's been a growth process. He's gotten more confident. He's able to move around in the pocket and create some things when things break down. But, you know, I think that you all were sitting here last year saying a lot of the same things you're saying right now, because the other guy was throwing against the 2 defense, and he was throwing it pretty good. And Jacob Eason was in there going against the 1 defense, which at that time was really good. So it's a lot of similarities between those 2 and those situations. You know, I thought that, like I said, both quarterbacks managed things really well, and I learned a lot more about them being able to handle things on the field with a crowd presence and a shot clock and coaching other players today, which I liked. You know, I thought they probably would have hit some bigger plays, but you know, Riley has the one in the end zone. I think he probably should make that play. He makes that catch. He made it later in very similar situations. So I think that's one of those that if you hit that one, the whole game may be different if you catch that ball. He got behind Tyreek, but the guys competed hard. Biggest difference, guys, is when the run threat's not there, the pass rush dominates and it protects your coverage. When you start running the ball a lot and you play action, that's when you get in trouble. Well, that's the part that's not really fair to the offense, because you're sitting there throwing the ball a lot more. They're teeing off on you in pass rush. Well, I'll say that there's guys that are trying. Jonathan Ledbetter is really pushing for that. Terry Godwin's trying to be vocal when he gets an opportunity. We need more guys to step up. They're just not comfortable right now in that role. And we've got a manufacturer. Lamont has tried to do some things. I think Andrew Thomas. You know, we've got a lot more guys on offense that are close to what we want than we do on defense. Yeah, I didn't learn anything about the running backs I didn't already know this spring because the running backs that played this spring were the same ones that played last spring a lot. So I felt really comfortable with what they did last spring. Their body of work because they took the bulk of the work. All right. So coming into this spring, it wasn't like there was a question. The question was, can they protect the ball? Can they protect the quarterback? And we tried to do drills to really work at that because they're both good runners. They're both tough runners. As far as Samir goes, yeah, he's on schedule. Ron's been really pleased with him. He's like he said he works very similar to Chubb in rehab. It's very important to him. He's there every day. He enjoys it. He wants the next challenge. Every time you take one step, he's ready to take another step. So he embraces that role. But as far as a player, we haven't really got to see him do it. I don't know that there has. I mean, I think it plays in our favor when it's a pass situation. We're more athletic in pass rush than we are in stoutness stopping the run. And we've got to get bigger and more physical on the defensive line to be the team we were or be the team we want to be defensively. And we're not there yet. But I mean, I was pleased with the way they competed. It's not, the script wasn't set. It wasn't their fault. They went out there and competed. And I thought JR played really hard. He leads. He's passionate. He's a very vocal leader that's been a great surprise for us, stepping up and making some plays. I think it's hard. I don't ever know. A lot of times I watch the tape and I'm like, oh, he had him. And the frustrating thing is the official doesn't want to call it unless they grab something. And we tell our players, don't grab. Because when you grab, you get injuries. And we're not trying to do that. But a lot of these pass rushers, when they come by there, they can grab cloth and yank them or cause fumbles and things like that. So that part of the game is probably not accurate, but we just try to make it balanced both ways. I'd have to watch the tape. I thought the same thing you thought. Monty showed up and had sideline to sideline. Of course, he pulled his hamstring there late in the game, but he's a great kid, man. He's one of those that when the lights come on and he gets the chance to play in front of somebody, he flashes more. He just loves the game. He loves contact, so he likes to hit. I would be remiss if I commented on some of those other guys because I didn't get to see him do a whole lot. Rachel's a great player, but watch out. You got a Granddaddy Longlegs coming down right there.
Roll off of here. Just leave the camera. Get this. We're gonna get blocked out like crazy. All right, just leave this. Here.